How's it going, buddy? Are you excited for the new Marvel superhero set coming to Magic the Gathering? I'm not excited. I'm fine with it, I guess. I've accepted it. I don't like Universes Beyond mostly, and I definitely don't think superheroes fit it. But I'll tell you what I'm excited about is, man, I was all down on this channel. I'm like looking at our numbers. I'm going, man, we're only getting like 600 views on a video, 1,000 views on a video. Then I go to the Magic the Gathering channel, which has 600,000 subscribers, and they're putting up all this fucking promotion, and they can't get more than like 3,000 viewers on how Marvel artist shaped Magic, comic clash, meme-orable moments, talking about all the memes they put in this. Look, we put memes in it. Don't you love memes? Oh my god, I might have to make a whole video about how they had to put 1 million memes in the goddamn set. But here's the point I wanted to make is Marvel Superheroes is coming. Pre-release is this Friday. I'll be there. Actually, if you want to come, I'll be at the Game Cellar in San Gabriel, I think, on Friday night. So if you want to come play Magic, I might be there, hopefully, if you're in the area. Marvel's coming out. Pre-selling boxes were pre-selling at $450. We're seeing a slight, I don't know. This is the TCG player price, but I think if you go to other websites, you'll find them for the $450 price. Still, I think this set, if I understand it correctly, is being printed into oblivion. I don't think you're going to have to work that hard to get a collector booster box of Marvel. I don't think it's going to be like Final Fantasy. Wizards is really going absolutely nutso to promote this thing, and I think they printed a lot of collector boosters to compensate for that. I think LGS's, local game stores, might be getting left out. I've heard some people are having trouble with allocations, but I think Amazon, Best Buy, Walmart, Target, I think they're going to have a lot of this stuff. Here's why I think this is, oh my god, the amount of goddamn promo they're doing for this thing. So first they painted Thanos on the side of a building for some reason. They always do it in some dog shit. I think it's in, like, what, Australia or something, because it costs too much to have to paint. It's just about painting the building. It doesn't actually matter where the building is. So they painted Thanos on a building. I don't get it. Then you got all the stuff coming out of Japan. Look, they had a Japanese event with whoever. Who's this guy? Am I supposed to know who this guy is? He has like 3 million followers. Adasuke. Who is this? I feel like I'm gonna get beat up for not knowing who this is. Who is this guy? Instagram, TikTok. I mean, he's got 3 million subscribers. He's talking about Magic cards. Not to mention, you go on the subway in Japan, you got Magic cards. They're everywhere. Not just Japan, obviously, but they're going to be advertising this thing like crazy because they printed a shit ton of it, and they're really pushing. There's a quote from Wizards of the Coast sitting down going, and we got a set coming out. It's going to be even bigger than Final Fantasy. I don't think they understand why Final Fantasy was so big that they're saying that, but I do think it will be big just based on the amount of advertising they're doing. But here's the point I wanted to make. Okay, they are trying to manufacture success by printing infinite amounts of this stuff and plastering it everywhere. Will it work? Probably. Okay, I think we got to talk about Spider-Man, and that's what this video is about. It's about Spider-Man sucked. We all know it sucks, but now's the time to buy yourself some Spider-Man. This is Vito's Market Manipulator. I should have a graphic. Vito's Market Manipulation Hour. Guys, subscribe to the channel, and let's talk about it. Now, Spider-Man, as we remember, was one of the great, hilarious situations of all time. Because Final Fantasy came out. I remember, I was buying, the people don't believe me, I bought Final Fantasy boxes at $350, collector boxes. Then they went to 400 and I bought more. Then they hit 600. And I was sweating. I went, is this too much for me to be? And I said, no, I believe in this set. I bought 6 more boxes at 600. Boxes are now sitting at 1,200. The scalpers got wind of it. They said, oh my God, Magic is back. Finally, something for us to scalp other than Pokemon. So they all went hard up on Spider-Man. They were, oh my God, $700 boxes, $800 boxes. And then boop, 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 boop. Boxes at one point hit about 300, I want to say. Here it's saying the lowest they got was 320. I remember seeing them for 300 at certain places. I actually wish I had more because they're starting to come back up. We're now at 360. Cheapest one at TCG Player is 360. I should have locked in when I saw them at 300. If you see $300 collector boxes, if you have an LGS that is selling them for 300, 320, lock in. Because here's the argument I'm going to make. Spider-Man's a bad set. It's got bad cards. We all know this. But we're also entering the era where Wizards is trying to attract people who don't play Magic. Now that sounds crazy. Why would you buy Magic cards if you don't play Magic? Well, I'd like to introduce you to another game called Pokemon. Pokemon, the biggest collectible sensation ever. I don't know why it's showing me Magic cards, right? It's showing me Pikeman. Pokemon, the hit sensation that nobody who buys it actually plays, which is maddening to me. I played Pokemon every weekend as a kid. For 2 years, I played Pokemon every single weekend. Now, it's just a thing you buy and you put on a shelf and you look at it. The guys like Logan Paul, I bet if you asked Logan Paul to play a game of Pokemon, he couldn't do it. I don't think he knows the rules of the game. He wears $1 million fucking Pikachu around his neck, and I don't think he knows how to play the game. Right now, he's hunting down Blue Eyes White Dragon. I'm sure he doesn't know how to play fucking Yu-Gi-Oh! Even I don't know how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! So Pokemon is what Magic wants to be. It wants to be a card game that nobody plays. Why? Because when it's a game that people play, it gets complicated. You're trying to sell things to people based on how good a card is, how powerful a card is. Whereas with Pokemon, the only thing you have to do is, let's be clear, Charizard's a bad card. This card is not played in any tournament. This is not like a Gaia's Cradle or a Black Lotus or anything. Even when this was printed, it was unplayable. For those of you who don't know how the Pokemon card games work, you can attach 1 energy a turn as if it's like land in Magic, okay? You can attach 1 energy a turn. So that means on turn 4, you can do 100 damage and destroy 2 of your own lands, putting you back 2 turns, and then your opponent just kills your Charizard and you feel like an idiot. Charizard's a bad card, and a first edition PSA 10 or whatever the fuck is probably worth $10,000. So that's what Magic wants to be. They want to be a place that you go to buy pictures of Spider-Man. I want pictures of Spider-Man! And you don't care if the pictures are playable, and you don't care if they're good. You just care that it's a cool picture of Spider-Man that you can own and you can look at. Okay, and let's be clear. It's not wrong for Wizards to want that. It's very smart for Wizards to want that. Divorcing the value of the card from the playability of the card is a smart thing to do. Look at sports cards. Nobody looks at a Shohei Ohtani rookie card and goes, yeah, but how much damage does it do when it enters the battlefield? It doesn't do anything. It's just a picture of a guy playing baseball. And that's what Wizards wants. They want you, not you. Look, they still want people to play the game. They want the game to have some amount of legitimacy and whatever else. But at the end of the day, they would love if they could just print a cool picture of Spider-Man on a card and have it be worth $100. That would be the ideal situation for them. They can stop having to power creep. They can stop worrying about designing the most powerful thing. They can just print cool pictures of Spider-Man and make money on them. So, as we enter this era, and I do think we are entering this era, we are seeing cards that are a little bit divorced from how powerful they are compared to their actual value. A good example is going to be like a TMNT Surge Foil. Heroes in a Half Shell. It's not a bad card, but you have the basic version that comes out of the Commander deck, and it's $1. You can get this card for $1. But if you want all the turtles and fancy pixel art, it's not a great commander. It's a commander that only matters if you're playing mutants, ninjas, and turtles. It's like a very niche card, but this is a $300 card. Why? Because, again, the price is divorced from the playability of it. It's not insanely playable. And look, the playable ones have a little bit of a bump. Michelangelo is probably the best out of the turtles, and so he's the most expensive because he also technically is valuable. But then there's something like Casey Jones, which is, I don't think, playable in anything. What does this guy do? Whenever he attacks, put plus and plus ones, whatever. It's still $75 for what is basically a bulk rare. Okay? We're divorcing the value of the playability from the art. It's just, well, I like Casey Jones. He's moderately playable. I think if a card's like complete trash, it doesn't get played in anything, maybe then it goes to $0. What's the cheapest one of these? I mean, I guess all of these were technically playable, but like Big Mother Mouse, your terrible card, still, if you get the $50, I mean, it's not terrible, but it's not great. $50 for the Surge Foil. And again, if you get the regular version, it's 50 cents. So here's where we're at with Spider-Man. It came out the gate hot. And let's be clear, the Soul Stone was the standout card for a reason. They made it the standout card. It was obviously, they knew it was the chase, and it is powerful and it is playable. So that's a twofer. Not only is it a great card that is super playable, but it's got great art, and they made a super premium treatment for it. But aside from the Soul Stone, we have a lot of cards that started off super high. I bought a couple of these at prices I'm not proud of, okay? Started off super high and are now at a level where I go, and they always say, one thing they say about stocks is if you think it can't fall any further, oh, trust me, it can keep falling. I'm going to make the argument here that I don't think these Spider-Man cards can get that much lower. At least some of them. Some of them are at such bargain basement prices that I go, it feels irresponsible to not buy a couple of these. Now, this is not one that I'm jumping on because it's a big investment, but let's look. This was the textured foil Spider-Man suits. This is the most desired one because he's wearing the classic black suit that eventually turned into Venom. This started at $1,000. $1,000 people were paying. 6 of these sold at around $851. We're now down to $400. And I'm going to say if you really want one of these, what's the cheapest one? And again, we talk about when TCG Player, the liquidity is not there. There's only 19 of these. If somebody really wanted to show up and buy all of them, I mean, and treat it like a stock market investment, I honestly think, I could see this getting back up to $500, $600, gradually climbing up with time. We know our good friend Billy missed out on buying himself a Soul Stone. These were down to like $900. Where are they at now? Cheapest one is at $1,900. So if you missed the boat on that, I don't know what to tell you. And why is it coming up? Well, because the new Marvel set's coming out. And somebody who just discovered Marvel, they go, oh, the Mind Stone, that's kind of cool. Oh, they already have another one? I can collect all 6? Well, I got to get all of them. And now people are looking backwards. The new people who are entering the market for this Marvel set are going to look backwards and say, well, I like Marvel. And let's be clear, Spider-Man was kind of testing the waters. When the Spider-Man set came out, there wasn't a lot of fanfare. There wasn't a lot of advertisement. A lot of normies might have heard, there's like some Spider-Man magic cards, but they didn't really get a feel of what's going on. Now, I sell on Whatnot, where there's a lot of guys who buy the Marvel cards from Topps, from Upper Deck, and I've had those guys come into my streams and they go, hey, tell me a little bit more about these Spider-Man magic cards. They're interested in them. They want to know. And they go, oh, these are kind of cool. I've had them buy a couple packs. I have guys coming in looking for their favorite characters. He goes, did they make a Spider-Ham card? I go, yeah, I got a Spider-Ham card. It sucks. Here. Actually, it's not that bad. But, I sold some Spider-Hams. I sold some Agent Venoms. If this works, and I think it will, the mass marketing blitz of bringing Marvel people into Magic, they're going to start looking back at Spider-Man. Now, I have some specs of my own that I'm going to recommend, and here's what they are. If you're looking to pick stuff up, here's what I'm going to say is, I think, surefire. Now, I don't have one of these. I need to get an Eddie. I think I might buy one of these today. I think one thing you want to spec on, not even spec, if this is something you've been thinking about picking up and you've been waiting for the right time to do so, now's probably the time to get it, okay? The comic book cover Spider People, I think, are going to pick back up. The reason for that is the new Marvel set has an entire line of comic book cover people that all resemble classic comic book covers. Bruce Banner, the Hulk, Iron Man, Elektra's got her own cover, Namor's got her own cover. So somebody starts buying the Marvel set, they hit one of those comic book covers, and they go, wow, that's cool. I want to collect all of these. And you go, well, actually, they did 3 of them, I think, in Spider-Man. So you might want to go back, get them out of Spider-Man. They go, well, I got to get all of them, And my favorite character is Venom. My favorite character is Spider-Man. So I have, and I just pulled these, for myself out of packs. I have the Peter Parker into Amazing Spider-Man. I think it's dirt cheap. The Miles Morales into, the Ultimate Spider-Man. Also dirt cheap right now. And even the Venom at, let's see, 99 for a lightly played. I'm going to add that to my card. I'm going to think about if I want the Venom. I kind of want to complete the set. Let's take a look. What is the Peter Parker and the Miles Morales going for? The Peter Parker is nothing. $50. $50. Now, look, we can't rely entirely on pre-sale prices, obviously. But if we look at the other comic book, Card Kingdom, I don't know how to say it. Look, they're not going to have all the prices completely right out the gate. Oh, it's so hard to figure out where you got to look to find these. Is it the superhero variants, I think? Yes. Okay. So here's the comic book covers that they're pre-selling, and we can look at which ones are actually selling. If 8 are available, that means none have sold, okay? That's Card Kingdom. They never put up more than 8 of the new thing. So 8 at $300. People are not buying out a $300 Thanos, and I don't blame them. People are biting on a $150 Shang-Chi. 3 of those have sold, which is fascinating. Bruce Banner at 150, no biters. And again, I don't know if this is science. It's possible that they refresh these throughout the day as they open more. But it looks like Shang-Chi sold. I'm not seeing any more of these sold. I don't know. Maybe they are refreshing it. A Bruce Banner full art did sell because it says only 7 are available. I don't know if they refreshed the numbers at the beginning of the day. Point is that this is where Card Kingdom has them starting off for the comic book covers is $300 for Thanos, $150 for Shang-Chi, $150 for the Hulk, which actually seems cheap to me considering how much hype Hulk has had as a commander. Only $100 if you want to get She-Hulk, Doctor Doom at $150. Seems cheap for Doctor Doom. So these are the prices that the Card Kingdom's trying to get. Now, we can be conservative. Let's knock these prices in half, okay? But again, Shang-Chi is sold at $150. If we knock this price in half, we say this is pre-sale hype, it's going to come down to $75. Okay, well, if Shang-Chi is $75, don't you think that Peter Parker Spider-Man should also be $75? It's Spider-Man. Again, people are going to come into Marvel. They're going to be collecting the comic book covers. They're going to go, hey, I got Hulk. I got Iron Man. Where's Spider-Man? You go, oh, Spider-Man's in the last set. They're going to go, oh, well, I got to go pick up the Spider-Man. I got to pick up the Venom. The ones I'm more bullish on, though, because I just think these are cheap beyond cheap, is and I've mentioned it on the podcast a million times. I know I'm just talking myself, repeating myself over and over. I have no idea how these cards in the Marvel Universe Eternal Legal, whatever the hell set, are selling for what they are. Now, when Final Fantasy did this, I thought this was setting a precedent. Stay with me, Ristic Study. If you pull a foil Ristic Study out of Final Fantasy, it is a $400 card. Obviously, Ristic Study, hugely playable commander card. It's going to have a premium for that. But even something like, what was it, Dragon Mount Gilg, okay? Ancient Copper Dragon is not the greatest fucking card that ever existed. And honestly, for all the Amano artwork, it kind of is not that great looking a card. But right now, the cheapest one you can get is $400 for an Amano art, what do you call it, Ancient Copper Dragon. So wouldn't it stand to reason if the top through the ages Eternal Legal Final Fantasy cards are $400? Shouldn't the Marvel ones at least be able to hit like $100? Is that so crazy? I don't think so. Especially when it's stuff like Opposition Agent. Right now, I've been buying these at $40. I might buy another one at $40. I've just been buying pretty much anyone I see at $40 because this card, what was I saying? You got to buy the cards based on the artwork. You got to buy them based on, is a guy who's into Marvel going to look at that and go, that's gorgeous, I want it, okay? If it's playable, hey, that's a cherry on top. An Opposition Agent is very playable, but only the ones that are actually eye-catching and good-looking, because let's be clear, a lot of these look like dog shit. We know this. We know that Cruel Tutor with a giant pixelated face on it is not a card anybody wants. Opposition Agent is a beautiful, beautiful card. I mean, if you have not seen this card in person, the way the rainbow shimmer on this thing looks is incredible. I cannot understand this card being a $40 card. I really think this is a $100 card, and I think as Marvel picks up steam, I'm going to be proven right. Let's take a look at a couple other of these Marvel Eternal ones. I hate that the Spider ones are now mixed in with the now, why couldn't they separate them into the Marvel Eternal Legal and the Spider-Man Eternal Legal? Now it's everything's mixed in with everything. Okay, another example. I paid way too much money for this card when it came out. It's Parallel Lives. It's a classic token doubler. One of the most popular effects in Magic is whenever you get a token, you get another token. Well, Parallel Lives does it. I think I paid $80 when this card came out. It is down to $26. Now, this is not my favorite art, but you have a beautiful Peter Parker morphing into Miles Morales. Honestly, it is a good-looking card, and it looks a lot better in person than the picture on the screen. At $26, seems like a no-brainer, okay? I can go through all of these. I'll name a couple more. The Spider-Man Reanimate is another one that just seems like a fucking slam dunk for the current price of, dude, what the fuck? $40. Reanimate, one of the premier. Probably, what, is there a better reanimation spell than Reanimate? It costs 1 black. If you're looking to combo off in Commander and get your guy on the table immediately, what is better than a 1-mana reanimation spell? I don't know why I only got 2 of them, but this is the classic, and this is Todd McFarlane, isn't it? Oh no, this is Mike, Zach, and Bob McLeod. It looks like McFarlane, but it's still, and I actually have the comic that this comes from Spider-Man pulling himself out of the grave. I mean, honestly, and I'm not even a big Spider-Man guy, that might be the coolest looking reanimate I've ever seen. I have some cool reanimates, but I like the Spider reanimate. A couple other ones you might consider. Spider-Gwen, in terms of artwork, and Spider-Gwen, what is Spider-Gwen going for? Web Warrior? I think she's like $10. Less. Okay, try to make sense of this one. Cloud Strife. Try to make sense of this. A foil Cloud Strife right now is $100. Cloud Strife is Nagila the Blade Blossom. Okay? Cloud Strife, cool picture of Cloud, $110 for a foil. Here you have Spider-Gwen as Nagila the Blade Blossom. It's the same card, and it's a tenth of the price for this beautiful look. Do you see how the eyes? Do you see the eyes shining? They gave the eyes like its own little foil layer. This is a beautiful card. $20 at least. $30 at least. One we gotta talk about. What is one of the classic cards where I don't know? And here's what I think happened. I think the reason the Spider-Man set lost so much value is that Wizards really thought these reprints were going to carry these values out the gate. Okay, like a foil Ponder from Time Spiral Remastered is a $500 card. Granted, it's a lot harder to hit a foil Ponder than a Spider-Man Ponder. But a Spider-Man Ponder, I think Wizards really thought these were going to be $40, $50. Right now, you can get a Spider-Man Ponder with art by Mobius for $10. How is this not worth owning at least? Even if you just want it for your decks. This beautiful, I just buy a couple every once in a while. I go on TCG Player and I go, I can't believe that Ponder's still $10. I'm buying 3 of them. And I just add them to a stack. 2 more I'm going to mention. I mean, look, all of them are good. Venom King in Black, solid. Heroic Intervention, I might hold off because they're printing infinite Heroic Interventions. The Mindbreak Trap, a premier counter spell played in CDDH, is like $15. Okay, but here's the 2 more I want to mention. I think this Goblin Bombard. This guy's my favorite Spider-Man artist. Okay, I'll bring it up real quick. Goblin Bombardment. This is John Romita Sr. Okay, one of the premier Spider-Man artists. Drew Spider-Man for, I believe, over 10 years. His art on Goblin Bombardment for $20. Not even $6. $6. Guys, what red weenie deck does not have a Goblin Bombardment in it? You literally have Green Goblin blasting Spider-Man in the face. I believe you would get about 2 foils out of a collector box of Spider-Man. Okay? It's not like the supply on these is insane. 76 listings at $5. I could buy every one. So I could buy. Wait. I kind of want to buy every single one. I mean, 75 times 5 is what? 150, 300. That would be like $400, and I could own every foil Goblin Bombardment. I could run the market. I don't even think it's a bad idea. The one I really like, though, because again, I am a fan of John Romita Sr. I don't know why his kid can't draw. John Romita Jr., terrible. This wedding ring is just gorgeous, and this has been my biggest Spider spec. I think I'm at about 10 of these, okay? Look at this card. Now, again, wedding ring, a beloved commander card, make friends with somebody at the table. And what's interesting about this one is I saw somebody having a magic, it's guys who play Magic. He was marrying his wife, and they actually gave these out as party favors at the ceremony. Everybody got a foil wedding ring. And I said, I'm speculating that this card is going to hold a special place in many people's hearts. And it's just a gorgeous card. This can't stay $10 forever. I see this card at least getting to $20, $25. So guys, look at the historical prices on these. I mean, the wedding ring going all the way back, I think at one point was like, I won't go back far enough to when Spider-Man came out, but it's just been crazy that we're at now $10 with the new set coming out. $10 we're at. I mean, what was the Spider-Man Ponder selling for at one point? When it first came out the gate, I want to know. When the Spider-Man Ponder was first revealed, this was $35. We're now down to $10 on these things. Look, I'm not saying you got to play the market and you got to buy up infinite amounts of cards or whatever else. But I do think Marvel's coming out. If there's any of these you've had your eye on, you got to know that the market's going to start moving on them. I mean, a great example is going to be, if you don't think the market's moving, look at the Soul Stone out of Spider-Man. And if you think Spider-Man box prices are not going to come up as the premier card in the set goes up, you're smoking the weed, okay? Soul Stone came out at one point, was down to $60 for what is the best Mono Rock Black has ever seen. We're now seeing, and that was for a foil, okay? I'm looking at foil price. Show me non-foil prices. A non-foil was down to about $50 for the Soul Stone. We're now pushing about 80 is the cheapest. You're up almost, what is that, 40%? And on the foil went from 70, is now pushing past 100. I think foil Soul Stones will eventually get to the point. This will be $120, $130. As Marvel people come into the hobby and they go, well, I got to get all the stones. I got to get the Mind Stone. I got to get the Soul Stone. The prices aren't going down from here, okay? And the only question is, have we hit the rock bottom for Spider-Man? I'm going to argue yes. The rock bottom is right now. It's right now before Marvel hits and brings in a new wave of collectors who go, hey, I'm into Marvel. I want to buy up all the Spider-Man. So, if there's anything you've been holding off on getting now while the getting's good. And help me manipulate the market by buying as many foil wedding rings as you can. I need them to go up. I don't even think it's market manipulation. I legitimately, and let's be clear, at the end of the day, if this card never goes anywhere, if this card forever stays at $40, if it goes down to $10, if it's a $30 card, if it goes down to $20 and it's a $20 card, I still think these cards look shockingly good. Again, I don't like all the Through the Ages stuff, but Opposition Agent, Spider-Gwen, Wedding Ring, Goblin Bombardment, the ones that have really good art on them, Ponder, Reanimate, I like them more than I am surprised how good they look in person. Okay? So even if they lost half their value, I don't care. I'm putting them in decks. They look great. Guys, let me know in the comments, what do you think? Is this the time to lock in on Spider People? I don't know. That's just what I'm thinking. I could be crazy. Take care. Bye-bye.